Hello, good day, or good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time and where you're watching me from at this moment. My name is Adrian Fejed, designer, seller, and in this case, presenter of the RiskCopilot Utility. Okay, so in this first video of a series of around 6 videos where we're going to explain in a fractional way so as not to make something so long and tedious, how RiskCopilot works, how you can take advantage, how you can get the most out of this software, how you can improve your operations, how you can stop wasting time and money, changing screens, missing opportunities, calculating that if you calculate with, with one page, with the other, you risk more, you risk less, you let opportunities go. So this tool is for you. This tool was designed with that objective since I am a developing trader at the moment and I suffered a lot from this. I had a screen, I had the cell phone, and it only caused me problems. So I decided to learn from this programming and design this tool. So at this moment, we are going to move on. When you acquire the product, it will appear here in the market area in utilities, okay? So I have it here because obviously I designed it elsewhere. So when you load it, please, a couple of things. That algo trading is active both here and up here. Why? Because although RiskCopilot is a utility, it is not an expert advisor because it does not execute operations automatically. Yes, we have a panel in which you can operate. That is, you can buy, sell, close operations. So as that happens through a utility, MetaTrader has to be sure that you are allowing that through a utility or have the expert advisor execute the trades. Otherwise, you'll have to do it manually, okay? Now, let's move on to accept, Let's go to the inputs. Let's talk a little about what's there. We have several languages. In this case, English, Spanish, and Russian. I haven't fully loaded the symbols yet because I haven't quite found the ASCII or the code to display them on this screen, but I'm working on it. Now, in the account parameters, if we decide it to be automatic, in automatic mode, it will take the balance you currently have in your account, right? And based on that balance, it will calculate the percentage of risk you choose. If you want to put 1%, 2%, 1.2% here, it doesn't matter. It will calculate it. But based on the account, because you are in automatic. Now, if you decide that the risk is manual, it will take the value you put here to do the calculations, right? So keep that in mind. Now, this is very important. We will see it much later, but as a sneak peek, it is to allow RiskCopilot to make calculations greater than this percentage. Why? An example, if your account is $100 and you decide to risk 0.5% or 0.25%, what happens with this? If you are trading euro-dollar and your account is dollar-based, then let's say the pip or the movement or the smallest movement is 0.01, which is the smallest lot size, then that value will be greater than the risk you are placing. So the market movement or the step or the minimum increment in the lot size that the symbol has or that your account has configured, if it is greater than your risk, you will have a problem because the software will say, I can't risk what you want me to risk. Better not risk anything. If you tell it that it's false here, that we can't allow a higher risk, it will block and say, you can't trade because you're telling me that we can't risk more than you want, but what you want to risk is too little or not consistent or coordinated with what is in the symbol. If we say true, it will obviously do more, but it will have alarms and will have some ways to warn you about the mode it is in. Now, depending on how you're working, if you are working on some accounts that are raw spread or minimum spread or zero accounts, according to the brokers, some
not all, charge a commission per lot, especially for Forex, and a percentage per lot for indices and stocks, right? It is important that you know these values and write them here so that the software takes these commissions into account and we are as close to reality as possible, right? Now, some accounts that are like the standard ones where they don't charge commissions, keep in mind that the broker is earning because the spread is bigger. The spread, which is the difference between buying and selling, between the bid price and the ask price. So let's say that it's the difference between, for example, you buy, I don't know, as sellers, you buy calculators for $1,000 or for $1,000 to give an example that everyone understands. And when you go to sell the calculator to a third party, well, you sell it to them for $1,200 and you have a profit. The broker does the same thing. The broker doesn't buy eggs to sell eggs. Here, the only one who loses is the user, the retail trader, or the small trader. The broker will never lose. Okay, another thing we have are 4 themes: light, dark, solarized, or it's a theme like for contrast, and the neon theme. Now, auto ripple lines. What it tells me is, we'll see it now, that if the price gets very close to your stop loss line or your take profit line, it automatically adjusts. It goes up or down. If you want it like that, fine if you make it automatic. If not, it will stay manual. And we have a pip spread filter that won't allow you to trade unless the spread is below these maximum values. If the spread is below those maximum values, you'll be able to use the software, you'll be able to interact with the market, but you won't be able to trade. You won't be able to buy or sell, okay? And these are already cosmetic configurations of what color, what style. For example, if we want my entry line to be in line, be with dots, dot line. Well, what color do we want it to be, and what color do we want the rectangles to be, where the prices are going to be shown, or where the characterization is going to be shown. We're going to talk about this now. The same for the stop loss line, the same for the take profit line. Here, the background color of the rectangles right now is like a pale green, and the pale red that will show me or indicate the take profit and the stop loss, right? And how wide do you want the entry to be? Now, when we are in operating mode or in real mode or in an open trade, what color are those take profits and those stop losses? I made them blue and orange to differentiate them from here. If you want them the same color, you just have to configure this. There's information that will appear here on the right. You can configure the color depending on the contrast and the colors that you have in MetaTrader, okay? And the same here. What color do you want the counters and the information that I show here of the candle counter, the local time counter, or the server time, if the market is open, if the market is closed, and what color do you want it to be, or what size do you want that letter to be, okay? Now we click accept, and this is the interface that appears to me. We have my trade panel, or my panel to trade, to buy and sell. You can select it by clicking on the top. It will automatically follow the mouse. Click to release. Let's put it here. Now this can be moved. This is the information of volume, of margin, of how much profit you have here, of how much stop loss you have here. I'm not going to go into this in depth because that would be the scout mode, which is our next video. So that is the interface and basically how it works, or let's say what we can find, right? We'll talk about what function each button fulfills and what it does, but this is the interface. I want you to see that everything is interactive. You can move it and it automatically calculates the volume. It calculates everything you need. Several models, we'll look at it later, but that's for a next video. So leave me your comments, any questions, anything you want, I will contact you. Thank you very much. Nothing, we'll see you in our next video where we are going to talk about scout mode or pre-operative mode. Thank you very much. Many successes. God bless you.